Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome again to another live, soon to be podcast. Good to be with you guys. So just let me know that you can hear me and see me, and I'll wait a few secs here to get started. We're going to go back a little bit to Monday's topic, which was I was talking to you about the thymus gland, but something came out in the last 2 days that I think is significant, and we'll talk about that this morning and just go over some important stuff. Good morning, Morris, Jerry, Palarco from Washington, Diane, and Nativity. Let me just see if I missed somebody up here. Scott from Louisville, Kentucky. Good morning, Scott, to you, and nice to have you on with us this morning. Big story came out, and you might have seen it. I think somebody actually posted it on our Martin Clinic Facebook group. If you don't belong to that, please join up and join the cast of thousands and thousands who interact with us on a daily basis. And we sure appreciate those folks who are in our private group. But I appreciate you for joining us on a daily basis. Many of you do. And that is more than appreciated. Good morning, Laura from New Liskeard, Ontario. Yalaun, bonjour. Linda, hello. Esther from Miami. See, Esther, as soon as I see your name, I know you're from Miami. And it's raining in Miami. Well, I'll tell you what. It's raining in Miami North. You know where that is? Sudbury. We're North Miami. Well, we've had a beautiful summer. I mean, it's been incredibly, but today we're getting some rain. Okay, Nick, how are you? And Phyllis from Manitoba, and Maria, good to have you on with us. And Andrea and Jerry are from New Brunswick, good friends of the Martin Clinic. We appreciate them. Rebecca, how are you in Callender? And Holly, good morning to you. Keith, good morning to you. Clyde from Whitehorse, Yukon. I mean, man, is it winter there yet? Okay. And John from Elgin, Illinois. So, folks, we go right around the world with this, and it's always a pleasure for me. Denise, how are you? And Shelley from Morrisburg, and Roxanne. Finally off work. Okay. Well, let me just pump your tires up today. We're going to talk this morning about, it's a news story because I actually saw it in the mainstream media, but it really comes down to the vaccine. So here we go with COVID again, but it's a big story, isn't it? Like for me, somebody said, I'm tired of COVID. Well, me too. I'm tired of it. Okay. But it's the world we live in. And, you know, I have a feeling some of these things that we're doing are never going to go away. That's just me. And I'm not a prophet nor the son of one, but I'm just telling you that I think, you know, what they call the new normal. And they're saying now, okay, you know, if you listen to the so-called experts who have been really wrong on this most of the time, but anyway, they're saying that the new normal is, you know, the way you go into a restaurant today and, you know, a lot of the booths are closed. Every second one or whatever, they're allowing I can't remember the percentage capacity. I know, I'm not sure it's completely like that in the United States, but I think it is. And, you know, in their mind, I mean, this is what we need to do, you know, and there's a big talk here right across North America as to whether the schools are open. I know that as far as post-secondary, we have universities here. It looks like it's going to be all online. They're not going to allow, and I've talked to you about the ramifications of that, okay? Because if I could talk to public health officials, This is the question I would ask them. I know you have a division of infectious disease. I understand that. I mean, you've been waiting for this. Like, this is a gift in terms of, now in Ontario where we live, the health units have more power than the government. They really do. And it's unlimited power and nobody can question them. I don't like that particularly because they don't seem to be answering questions. They just, hey, for example, in Sudbury here, the health unit decided we were to wear masks. You want to go into a public building or whatever, you got to put a mask on. And we had no COVID here. We haven't had COVID for a month. I think there's one case. But we have to do it. You want to go shopping? You want to go to Costco? You want to go to Walmart even? You're going to wear a mask. And you don't get to question it, whatever. And anyway, I'm not telling you not to wear it. I'm just telling you the state of the land. But the question that I would ask the public health, because health is broad, right? It's not just infectious disease. But what we're seeing today is going to have enormous ramifications on mental health, loneliness. It's almost like we live in a think of our seniors who have been really locked down for 4 months. You can't visit them. You can't go into the hospital, really. You're not supposed to because of COVID. And COVID, okay, I get it. It's a virus. It's only, don't worry, doc, this is only temporary. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that. And one of my biggest concerns is because my practice changed in the last 20 years. Okay, just to tell you overall. You guys hear me every day. I talk about insulin. But one of the biggest things that I saw on a daily basis in my office is a hormone called cortisol. And cortisol is a stress hormone. And I'm telling you, of course, it's been there since God created us. He created you with 2 glands called your adrenal glands. By the way, doctors rarely ever look at them. They don't test them, generally. And they're the Rodney Dangerfield of your body because nobody tests them. Nobody, adrenal gland. It's almost like a physician's eyes glass over. They don't even take it into consideration. And yet there isn't a doctor in the universe that wouldn't tell you that stress and anxiety is playing a major role in society today. And all I'm saying is, it's nice to, we got a virus and we got to take care of that. It's the boogeyman. So you never want to get a virus and it's all numbers. And you know what? Okay, I get it. But what about loneliness? What about stress? People, we're human beings. We're meant to communicate with each other. People were dying alone. You couldn't go to the funeral. You couldn't have, I performed, I'm a lay pastor, okay? And I have a license to perform marriages. And I performed, I think, 3 COVID weddings. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. They're on Zoom. Is that natural, guys? But is that going to be the new normal now? I love baseball, guys, okay? And last night, it was the Toronto Blue Jays' first exhibition game, okay? Where they're in Boston. Nobody's in the stadium. You can't go watch a baseball game. Every summer, I take my 3 youngest grandsons, okay? Those little guys, I love those guys because they love baseball like Grandpa. And they're so disappointed. We can't even play baseball. They canceled the season. Kids don't get sick from COVID, but they canceled the season. The kids can't play baseball. There's no baseball in Canada, as far as I know. And I love playing slow pitch, and they canceled it on me. That stressed me out. I love ball. I enjoy it. I still play. Well, not this year. Now, is that the new normal? I don't know. Okay, so why did I say all that? Because one of the big things is stress and what that does to your immune system. But let me just tell you the story now. You know, you love me on my little rabbit trails, I hope. But the story of COVID that came out this week, and I don't know if you heard about it or not, everybody knows that all the pharmaceutical companies are racing to develop a vaccine for COVID. And my prediction, and again, I haven't been right about anything. As far as COVID, I thought it was going to last 2 weeks. I didn't think they would close the world down. I really didn't. But anyway, the pharmaceutical companies are racing for a vaccine. And I'm sure the government is giving them money in Canada and the United States, and it all sounds wonderful, guys. But there was some bad news on the vaccine front. And if they had only asked me, I would have told them ahead of time. Because even if, you see, vaccines are based on, I want you to just think about what a vaccine is for anything. What is it? Well, it's the introduction of the virus, a small amount of it. So for the flu shot, what do they do every summer? The CDC gets together and they go, okay, now what virus will be the flu this year? They guess. They're often wrong, but they're all doctors in a boardroom at the CDC, and they sit there, and I get it. I understand why they do it. And they go, we got to make up the flu shot this year. What are we going to pick? Well, then they pick one. And that becomes your flu shot. So what is it? Well, they introduce the flu into you in a small amount. And what your body's supposed to do is produce antibodies. Okay? So they give you a little, it's like homeopathy. Okay? I took a homeopathy course when I was in school, I think, back in the 70s. I never really practiced it, but I understood how it works. And they introduce a little bit of the disease, and your body fights it. Your body makes antibodies, and you put a little bit in, and your body says, okay, I got that, I recognize it. Those are what antibodies are. But the bad news for the vaccines so far, I'll give you some good news, but there's some bad news. The bad news is they found out with COVID-19, the coronavirus, is You make antibodies, but they don't last. And they're not really that effective. So for a lot of these companies, it's back to the drawing board. Now, there was one company, I think it was in one pharmaceutical in the United Kingdom, that was trying with the vaccine to stimulate your T cells and your natural killer cells, the immune system. And that's what I've been saying from day one. No matter, like, if you wash your hands, practice social distancing, don't touch your face, even though I touch my face all the time. See, I got a beard. I can't help myself. I like playing with it. And I guess the mask is so that you don't touch your face. I've often said the mask is just to stop the spread of anxiety. People feel better when they wear a mask. But in the first day of infectious disease, in the first day, you know what you learn? A virus, the coronavirus, is 1,000 times smaller than any mask that you're wearing. It's going to get through there. It's like, so I heard a cardiologist on TV the other day saying, well, it's like you put up a fence and, a steel fence or whatever, and for mosquitoes, they're going to get right through, When you see a chain link fence there, right? The mosquitoes going through. So, guys, what I have been saying to you, and I've been consistent, you would admit this. The key is, look, whether a vaccine comes or not, and whether it'll ever be effective or not, I have my doubts. I'm not telling you not to take it. You might not have any choice if you want to fly anywhere. I have a feeling on our passports, it's going to ask whether we've had the vaccine or not. I think that's happening. It's going to happen, in my opinion, okay? Again, I haven't been right about much on COVID, like in terms of its, how long it would last and how long they would shut down. And we're in phase 3 in Ontario, and we're just starting to open up. And like I said, they didn't open up the swimming pools. Thank God we got a pool. Because they didn't open them up for the public here in Sudbury, at least. So the key, okay, so the story on the vaccine. Now, let me just tell you one other thing. You'd have to go back to listen to this. I think I brought it out probably 6 or 7 weeks ago on one of our podcasts. Because something happened in the United Kingdom, which was, it was a huge story. It was so big. And I didn't find it anywhere. I found the story, but it wasn't anywhere else. It wasn't in the mainstream media. It wasn't whatever. But it was a study done in the United Kingdom for the flu shot of 2017 or 2018. I'd have to look up my notes. This was so significant, guys. Listen to what I'm going to say. If you had metabolic syndrome and they gave you the flu shot in 2017 or 2018 in the United Kingdom, what is metabolic syndrome? Insulin. Insulin, high circulating insulin or insulin resistance, and belly fat. or any kind of obesity. Is in the United Kingdom, by the way, 50% of the population is obese. In the United States, you know what it is? 50%. You know what it is in Canada? 50% of the population. If you look at the BMI, which they consider for obesity, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see. Just look at the population today. But obesity is a symptom. Obesity is a symptom. It's not the cause. Obesity is a symptom of high circulating insulin. You do not get fat by eating fat. You get fat by eating carbs, and carbs will elevate your insulin. Diabetes is not a disease of sugar in your bloodstream. That's the last thing that happens. Diabetes is a disease of metabolic syndrome because of food. And so is cancer. The vast majority of cancers, I can name you 15 cancers that have very little to do with genetics. Medicine focuses in on genetics. Integrative doctors like me focus in on you, your immune system, your metabolism. I know, I've told you many a time, I got bad genetics. Cancer ravaged our family, my siblings, my parents. Diabetes ravages our family. I got bad genetics. But I always tell people, you can override your genetics. So here in the United Kingdom, they found out when they gave the flu shot and you had any kind of obesity, the flu shot didn't work. You weren't even making antibodies according to that research in the United Kingdom. Well, hello. I've been telling you that for a long time. The problem is food. It destroys our immune system. You can wear 17 masks if you want. You can wash your hands 1,000 times a day if you want. You can stop going outside and don't go anywhere and stay in your house if you want. It's not the virus. It's you. If you're healthy metabolically, you'll swat this virus off like a pesky fly. And that's a fact. So when I was talking to you the other day about your lymphatic system, your lymphocytes, your T cells are lymphocytes because they come out of they're made in the bone marrow. Your white blood cells are made in the bone marrow, but it's your thymus gland that matures them. And you want immunity, it's up to you. Your immune system is up to you. And listen, your immune system is coded to find the coronavirus. It's, oh God, this is new. Well, the coronavirus is not new. Yes, there's always deviations of these viruses. They mutate and they change. But your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. Your body knows exactly what to do, if you give it the tools. Do you understand that part of it? Can I be honest with you? I've never been scared of this virus. Not for me personally. I haven't been. My son, when I was in Florida, Dad, get home. Not that he was scared of the virus. He was scared of, Dad, they're going to close the border. They're like, the world is going to go crazy. And, you know, my son's smarter than I am because he was right and I was wrong. I was sitting in Florida going, are you kidding me? They'll never do that. They're never going to close the border. They're never going to restrict travel. They're going to put the travel industry out of business. I said, Tony Jr., they won't do it. Show you how smart I am. They didn't. Personally, I wasn't scared. I look, guys, I try and take care of myself. I really do. I understand as I age, my immune system isn't like when I was 25 years old. I get that. I understand that. I understand the shrinkage of the thymus gland. Right? I understand that. But I'm doing everything I can. And one thing I can control is what I put in my mouth every day. You know, every once in a while I have to talk to myself and remind myself of that. I love eating. You? I love eating. Every day I have to discipline myself. I call it the 3 Ds. I wrote a book about human psychology. Well, I was talking about food way back then. I think it was 25, 30 years ago, but I don't know if I invented these 3 Ds, but that's what I learned in psychology. You know what I learned in psychology? Human psychology? Not much. I'm not a psychologist, but if you're a physician of any kind, you got to be somewhat psychologist, right? You know what I learned? It takes 3 weeks to form a habit. The gyms are full in January, empty in February. True or false? Yeah, it's true. And you know how many people come on, and God love them. I love you. I do. I mean it. I love you. You come on to our Martin Clinic Facebook group or whatever, and you go, did you mean just eggs, meat, and cheese? Did you really mean that, Dr. Martin? Yeah, I meant it. I don't know if I can do that. Yes, you can. Desire, number 1. Desire is up here. You've got to have, okay, you know what? I'm going to take care of myself. You know, you need a plan to succeed. I never left a patient out of 46 years out of my practice ever once that I didn't give them a plan to succeed. They came to see me, so they must have had a desire to get better. But I said, you know what? There's 2 other Ds. You got to transfer from this to your heart now, 18 inches, transfer it to become determined. Oh, you have no idea how many people I talk to in a day. And that I have talked to. And I said, well, you're on the Titanic. You're a diabetic or a pre. Or you have hardening of your arteries as we speak. How do I know that? Well, look at your triglycerides. They're high. and you don't have good cholesterol. You're worried about lowering your cholesterol. I'm worried about getting your cholesterol higher. Good cholesterol, HDL. I could tell within a few minutes. And I said, okay, here's what you do. Change your diet. Oh, Dr. Martin, oh. I thought you were going to give me a pill. No. Although I do recommend you take probiotics and vitamin D or whatever. But no. You got to go home and change your diet because you got metabolic syndrome, which is characterized by insulin resistance. And 88% of the population, according to the CDC, has metabolic syndrome. 88%. The 12% that are healthy, some of them came to see me. And you know what I would do? I'd give them a high five and say, keep going, man. Keep going. People that had already changed their diet. People that had already changed their lifestyle. It's not even a diet, it's a lifestyle. And you need not only a desire to be well, you need a determination to do it. That's where the transfer takes place. That's human psychology, by the way. 18-inch change. I am determined. Okay? So that's a mindset. And then the third one is discipline. Every day, even when your scale hasn't moved, ladies, every day, oh, I quit. No, don't quit. Be disciplined every day. We're surrounded by food. Make the right choices every day. That's human psychology, guys. 101. Like I said, 3 weeks to form a habit. That's why I do the reset. That's part of it. And then you need a mindset of desire, determination, and then discipline. It'll help you in every area of your life, by the way. I always tell people, look, if you're not disciplined, I don't care who you are, you will never be a success in life. In anything. In health, never. Folks, good health doesn't happen by osmosis. Oh, I'm just going to think about being healthy, and that's going to fix it. No. No. It's a start. I want you to think. But if you want a healthy immune system, listen to me. It's not the virus. Whether COVID-19 goes away or it doesn't go away, it becomes COVID-20, COVID-21, COVID-22, or whatever, SARS, or whatever it is. A new wave comes. And they close everything down. I'm not optimistic that they won't do it again. Politicians get drunk on power. I never seen anything like it. And the health units, at least in Ontario, I don't know what it's like there, but they have all the say. They override the government in a healthcare crisis. They override. They're powerful. And nobody's elected them. Anyway, don't let me get into politics. But I'm concerned, guys, about you. I want you to understand what to do. And I want you, whether a vaccine, they ever come with a vaccine that stimulates your T cells? You don't need a vaccine to stimulate your T cells. I've proven it to thousands and thousands and thousands of patients. How to improve their immune system. And guys, it's not only just for viruses and bacteria. Your immune system is what fights cancer. You want to rev up your immune system. Boy, am I ever pontificating this morning. My blood pressure is up. I'm getting a workout. I get excited. And I know I'm preaching to the choir this morning. You folks, you get it. You're not relying on a mask. You might wear it, but you're not relying on it. You're wearing an invisible mask with vitamin A. And to get vitamin A, you need to eat vitamin S. How do you like that? To get vitamin A, because vitamin A protects all of your mucosa. That's where the virus comes in. The virus comes in either through your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And you have an invisible shield if you got enough vitamin A. Nobody talks about that. But that's how you get a good immune system. Vitamin A. But you need vitamin S to have vitamin A. You have to eat steak to get vitamin A, proretinol A, eggs, meat, and cheese. Vitamin A is not, I'm sorry to disappoint you, vitamin A is not in the plant kingdom. Proretinol A is not in the plant kingdom. So you go on the internet, you go to Google, you go to Netflix, you go to whatever. Oh, don't eat red meat. That's bad for you. Well, if you don't eat steak, you ain't getting vitamin A. You can have carrots and have beta-carotene. That's a precursor. But it's not vitamin A. Don't fool yourself. It's just not. So if you know vegetarians or vegans, they need to supplement. I know I'm not popular when it comes to that. I'm going against the grain, but I'm sorry. Them there are the facts. You want a healthy immune system. You need vitamin A. So you need vitamin S. I hardly ever give people vitamin A unless they're extremely low or they're vegetarians or vegans. I tell them, well, you better take vitamin A. I have a product in the office, Blood Boost, and I give it to them because it's got lots of vitamin A in it. But you eat it in vitamin S, steak. Okay. And I never mind probiotics, and hey, I could talk to you a whole session about vitamin D, but you get the message, guys. So in closing, remember that it's your immune system. It's what you do. You can't control other people. You can influence other people, but you can't control them. But I'm aiming at you. I'm aiming at you so you take care of yourself. And master your immune system. And make it great. Make it work for you. Okay. Take a deep breath now. Okay. So we will know today. I just got to confirm this with my son. I think we're going to do a Zoom question and answer tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure of that because my Tony Jr.'s son, my grandson, is moving. So is he helping? I hope I don't have to help him. Look, I put a white hat on, okay? Because I don't want to lift anything too heavy. I lift weights, but anyway. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you very soon. Share this. You can influence people. You can't control them, but you can influence them. Love you guys.